Is everything your fault, right? If you are, underweight, overweight, depressed, not happy, that's kind of the same word as depressed. If anything in your life is your fault, is that a good or a bad thing? And I would say it has to be your fault. Otherwise, you got no hope. Here's what I'm thinking. So when I was about, I haven't saw stories this way. When I was about this age, when I was younger, about 10 to 13, I had grown up and I had developed this habit of choosing not to eat dinner, of choosing to be hungry, so that when I got upset with people, when I was angry with them, when I was rude to them, I had an excuse, right? Because, hey, it's not my fault. I haven't eaten yet. And so I'm only acting this way because I'm hungry. Right. And then when I got older, about 10, 13, I noticed many of the other kids, at school, I only went to 1 year of school, but many of the other kids, they were stronger than me. They were, I wouldn't say more muscular. I mean, I wasn't really muscular either. There's not a whole bunch of super buff 10-year-olds, but, they just looked to be in better shape. And I noticed I was smaller than most all of them. And I would be playing basketball and I would try to shoot it in overhand and I couldn't get it in that way. And so I would shoot underhand to make basketball shots. And I would explain, this was my excuse I gave, that I had grown up vegetarian and vegetarians are not actually able to gain weight and build muscle. That was the belief I had created. That was the belief I had adopted, I would say, because it was incredibly useful to me. As soon as there's that discomfort of, oh, other people are better than me, they're at a higher level than me, I was able to fall back on that of, oh, I'm vegetarian. It's not my fault I'm this way. I just am this way. And it was comfortable, right? I liked it because now I had an out. Now I had an excuse. But here's the thing. You could make an excellent excuse. You could have an incredible reason of why you're not the way you want to be. And now you got a reason, but you don't have progress. Something that I didn't want to accept, it's taken me a while to accept, is that it is a lot easier, right? The comfortable thing to do is to blame circumstance. It is to blame others, your surroundings, timing. But if you blame, and blame meaning, as I looked up the definition, assign responsibility for a fault or a wrong. If you say, hey, I wronged myself, I did something rude, I did something unkind to myself, no one wants to do that, but you have to if you're going to take responsibility. If anything in your life is not how you want it to be, then essentially you're choosing it, right? And here's another example. The past 28 days, I've been doing this challenge. It's called the 75 hard. And every day you wake up, well, every day you wake up no matter what. That's not part of the challenge. Every day you do two workouts. One of them has to be outside, minimum length of 45 minutes. You read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. You take a progress picture. You stay to some kind of diet. And you drink 1 gallon of water. So for 28 days, I had been doing this really well. Every single day, I hit it. Some days, I finished right at 12 a.m. or right at 11:59. And right? The intent was to go 75 days without stopping. But then 2 nights ago, I am reading my scriptures, 10 pages of nonfiction, and I finished that. I finished everything else. I did my workouts, did my gallon of water. I ate 140 grams of protein, which is the diet I'm sticking to. And I finished everything, but I forgot to take the progress picture. And I go to bed, and I wake up and I see on a group chat with my friends, they say, "Sam, where's your progress picture?" And I just realized, dude, like, oh my gosh, I have to restart the challenge now. And I could have blamed it on, oh, I forgot. Or I bet there's a better excuse. I can be like, oh, it was late and I forgot. But it's been only one slip up. I'll just let it slide this time. But that's not the point of the challenge. The point of the challenge was to, if you miss anything, whether it be a workout or it be a progress picture, which takes like 3 seconds to take, you have to restart the challenge. And it was my own fault, right? I could have taken the progress picture way earlier in that day, right? There were many instances when I could have done it. I didn't even have to send it into the group chat with my friends for it to count. I just had to have it on my phone before 12 a.m. And so I had to restart. And it was my fault. I forgot. And so now I go another 75 days at the challenge. And why am I so, comfortable, okay, with assigning the blame to myself? And I would say I am, because if it's my own fault, then I have the power to change it. But if it's not my fault, if I couldn't do anything about it, then I am stuck with what the world gives me. Right? The other day I was tired because I was finishing 75 hard stuff late in the day. And the next day I woke up tired, and I knew when I woke up, it was my fault because I had delayed homework that I needed to get done, and it all caught up to me. And I could have said, oh, well, there was a lot of homework this week, or, oh, there was no other chance. But come on, there was time. If I could have done it in the evening, I could do it in the morning, and I could be more productive. I could be more on top of it. I had control over this. Yeah, that's about it. I would honestly just say, pay attention to the things that are controllable, and notice where you're making excuses, where if you desire a different outcome for yourself, but you're making excuses about it, you either get to let the excuses win or you get to let yourself win. You guys can't both be winning at the same time. And there is one more thing I would like to close this off with, and that is the serenity prayer, because it is easy to start adopting this extreme responsibility mindset and then start taking responsibility for things that you did have no play in. And, you're technically lying if you take responsibility for it, because you weren't responsible for the outcome, and it's not healthy, in my opinion. So the serenity prayer goes like this, and serenity means the state of being calm, peaceful, and untroubled. And it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Right? So that's the prayer that I have in my heart. I really like it when I heard it, because there's a lot I can change. And, we ask for that strength and that guidance and that mercy from God, that He will help us change and improve and further align ourselves with Him. And there are things that we don't have control over, at least as much as we do no, there really are things that we don't have control over. Kind of. There's a degree of influence. Okay. We don't have control over some things. And you want to make sure that you are not mixing those two up. And so, keep that prayer in your heart that God will help you see the things that you are capable of changing. And I imagine you see a lot of them too. That's everything. If you want to rate and review the podcast, people will see it and they'll think, oh, this must be a pretty cool podcast. I don't know. I enjoy doing this. It is a fun thing. I like the solo episodes. I get to, share what I learn. But yeah, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Be good, be strong, be awesome. See ya, brother.